Welcome back to another video. I'm One Royal, and today I decided to take some overhyped farm equipment out for some racing into some Lamborghinis. Starting off with the Jarama, going into the Horseshoe at VIR. This is the Grand East Circuit, by the way, in case for those wondering. And this lobby only had 6 people. I did kind of just go into any lobby I wanted to at this point, trying to get this footage. And the first race was pretty, well, didn't have many people in it. So, either way, I got Proud Menace behind me. He's in an RX-8. You also got Crazy Adrix behind him, who's in a Renault. I'm gonna have to double check what model that is. Again, I'm not too sure, and I don't want to make an assumption of what it is. I had to brake there at the second board. Note, I'm not very good at Virginia Raceway, nor have I gotten any experience in this car, so you could say I'm a little out of touch when it comes to this type of race, or this race at least. It's going to be like that for the next few races, because I literally kind of woke up this morning and decided, you know what, this would be a good video idea, because, again, I'm not really a fan of Lamborghini, so either way, RX-8 by Proud Menace, he does manage to get around me. I do end up pushing Crazy Adrix off the track in an attempt to get control of my car. I feel like I should have gotten some sort of penalty for that, but somehow I didn't. I don't know, maybe the game thought it was just a racing incident and such, but either way. Now we got a Lex CLK V8 behind me in the Honda Civic. Now, he has a pretty lightweight grip build, but even then, the Civic is the Metacar in B-Class. He does run into the back of me. I don't think he was expecting me to brake quite that much. Again, not really used to this car. Haven't really gotten too much drive time. But either way, I am happy with the performance. So, catching up to a Crazy Adrix, I do have power over him, so I get around him rather easily. Not gonna lie. Probably should remake this into a power build if I'm being completely honest. Going into a Hogpin, or this roller coaster, never mind. Hogpin is after this turn. Crazy Adrix does take the inside, gets back around me. Obviously not waiting for me to speed back up. Got a Proud Menace there. I think the RX-8 is a really good B-Class car, so he's probably just using it, probably using a leaderboard tune as well, so I don't know, I see people using the RX-8 and they're doing really good in it, so either way, we're gonna go ahead and speed ahead because it's literally just me and Lex here having a bit of a battle here, and we're gonna stop speeding this up at about here after the fishhook going in the South Bend. Now, after the last lap, I'm kind of anticipating him to brake late, so I decided to extend my braking point by quite a lot. End up doing it way too much and just completely mess up Oak Tree here. Then go ahead and speed up to when I finally catch up to these guys, because honestly, that was just a really huge mistake on my end. I don't know 100% what was going through my head when I decided to make that call. Either way, though, not really too happy about it, but gonna go ahead and go back to normal speed here on the fish hook when Slum King, or Xyloom King? I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name there, bud. But either way, we're going into a South Bend. A lot of people messed that up. Xyloom King is one of them. Now it's just me trying to catch up to a Big Chew here. Chew. Again, if I mispronounce your name, you watch it. I do apologize, man, but either way, going down the back straight after Oak Tree, slowly but surely catching up to him, bringing that time down, trying to get 4th place back on the final lap, so I have a feeling a lot of us are going to be desperate for that extra position. Going into roller coaster right now, trying not to mess this up at all, take it as tight as I possibly can. I am trying, well, I did try to build these cars for grip, so you'd think I'd be able to, but his car is probably a hell of a lot lighter than mine, so going out of hog pen. I'm just on the gas, trying to reel him in as best as I can. At this point, I'm trying to go on the inside. He blocks that off. I go on the outside. He blocks that off. I go into the back of him because I was not anticipating that. Kind of seemed intentional, but at the same time, it is racing. But either way, I did get a way better lap time, so can't complain. Can't complain. Let's move on to the next race. Alright, we're in the Espada this time, and we're at Road America. I'm going to try and go through this track as fast as I possibly can, because I'm not really a fan of these power tracks. So either way, get a little rear-ended by a Camaro. Trying to get around the pack. Seems like we got a couple of grip builds. I'm trying to take it slow, because I didn't get much practice on this track, and I did get rear-ended in the process. We got someone going off into the exit there on turn 1, going through turn 2, catching up to Big Chew, going into turn 3. Driving the General Lee, so massive respect to him. I do love my muscle cars, so. Got a Camaro behind me, and this is where power tracks are probably going to shine, because you got the Moraine Sweep, which is a very, very long sweeping turn. So if you got a lot of power, you can go down this track rather quickly. I'm trying to avoid bullet there. Ended up kissing the wall a little bit, grinding against it a little bit as well. Not intentional, but I was kind of pushed into it, and it was kind of my fault at the end of the day. So, generally picking up some grass, doing some yard mowing. To me, that's what this thing should be doing, because I'm pretty sure these things were old lawn mowers and tractors and such like that. They are built from farm equipment after all, so. Got a Scorpio PHI coming in. Also, if you guys hear random chirping at all in the background, that is one of my assists. I did decide to turn on an assist to help with let me know when someone's beside me, because I don't always look down at my radar. But I have a feeling that little bit of chirping will help out a little bit for that one. So, by the way, going around turn 3 right now. I do have a map up. Apparently a little bend in that straightaway is a turn, so catching up to a Big Chew. We got that's Mr. Durka in a Mustang. Getting around me, trying to get around Big Chew here. A little bit of rubbing there, and it looks like Big Chew tried pushing him off there, but he did back off quite a bit, so I don't know if that was intentional or not. And it was going into turn 5 right now. We got an S2000 going into Mr. Durka there. And of course, Charger also going into him. I go into the Charger, was not expecting him to do a little bit of a dive bomb there. Did throw me a little off guard at the end of the day, so not really intentional, but it did happen. But either way, we are side by side going around this little straightaway. It doesn't really have a name, so I'm just going to call it the straightaway for the rest of this video, or this race I should say. But going into turn 1, I do lock up the brakes there, and Big Chew there does overcook turn 1 and decides he's going to go off into the escape route there. So, helped me out a little bit. Going into turn 3 now. Just trying to hold off I. Thomas there. Not really doing a good job. And of course, you got a Charger that is mowing the grass once again. I think he's just getting a little antsy trying to gain some positions there. Seemed like he's overcooking them a little bit. Now here I am thinking, okay, maybe I might have 7th place in the bag, but we do have Mr. Durka catching up quite a bit. Going into turn 5, I'm trying not to overcook this one at all. And yeah, turn 4 is within that little straightaway there for some reason. And of course I do end up messing up turn 6 and go right into the wall. And yes, I do end up getting a little bit of road rage in the process of doing that, because, well, I didn't really tune this thing to handle bumps all that well, so you can say that was pretty much my fault. We're going to try and speed up to when I do start catching up to some of these guys. Luckily, these laps don't take too long. I think a minute 10 is the pace for this track, but either way, we got Big Bap God. Brat God, I should say, who spun out someone, which gave me 13th. But either way, that is pretty much going to be the race. I don't really catch up too much to Big Chew here. But like I said, I wasn't really too much of a fan of these power tracks. Probably because I had really dabbled in power build since going onto my wheel. So either way, we finished the race as 13th. Can't really complain. The thing did do a lot better than what I thought. Because in all actuality, I should have been maybe 11th. So at the end of the day, let's go ahead and move on to the final race of the video. Alright guys, final race of the video. We're at Lime Rock. I'm in the Miura. And this race was chock full of stuff going on. So be prepared for a lot to commentate over. Going into the Big Bend right now. Got an exoset going around me. Going into the S's, we got some dudes spinning out. We also got a Trueno going off into the grass. I end up going off into the grass a little bit. Not enough to constitute abusing track limits, though. Catch up to Blaney here. He's in a Volkswagen by the looks of it. Now, this is where I gotta be careful because this isn't really a good passing zone. But either way, going into the uphill chicane. Back off a little bit, give him a little bit of room. Try not to go into him. He gets an off-track penalty anyway, so going around the outside, going into the West Bend, managing to get around him quite nicely, if I do say so myself. Now going to the diving turn, a little bit of contact between Miranda's and Killer 90,132. Now trying to go in on the outside here, a little bit of a side-by-side, a little bit of Forza glue there. Trying to get off of him as much as I possibly can there. At this point, I do hit the brakes a little bit, let him go on through. Exoset spinning out thanks to Miranda's. Going through Big Bend and now going into the S's. Trying to just stay on Killer's backside here. Going to the S's, and there is apparently another turn called Big Bend around here, so that's going to be a little confusing if you ask me. Lime Rock, you might want to rename your turns, but either way, going into the chicane, trying not to get too much pressure on the Killer here, but going around on the outside here, trying to give him some space, but he decides he's just going to push me right off into the grass. Not really what we would want. Now, he doesn't really get penalized, I don't think, for that. I guess the game thought that would have been a racing incident, but definitely felt very on purpose, if you ask me. So, got a Emmer show in a Skyline here. I'm on the inside. I do have to back off just a little bit to avoid a collision there at Big Bend. Or Big Bend 1, I should say. Got the Pizza Man going off course once again. I don't know what his build is, whether it's power, grip, or whatever. But either way, he's not doing so hot in these first few sets of turns. By the way, getting around Sleeth there, who was ghosted. He probably went off course there. I did brake hard there to avoid going into the Skyline. And Sleeth there does go off course there. He does pick up a penalty for it. I do feel like that was more my fault. I think I closed that gap off a little too much, and he ended up going off course because of me. I'll let you guys decide who was truly at fault for that one, but either way, I do feel more at fault, but now it's just a little bit of a battle between me and I think he's in a Silvia, judging by that front end. I don't know if it's a Silvia or a Honda S2000. I could be mistaken on what type of car he's in, but I do want to say it's a Silvia. And it was going into Big Bend 1 once again. I am slowly catching up to Emmer Show and Killer here. Going into the S's now, and this is where I think a little bit of rubbing happens once again. It seems like Killer's just trying to purposely block him off, and he decides he's just going to push him off into the grass there. Trying not to go into the back of him at all. Going into the chicane, a little bit of rubbing there, and once again, I'm pushed off by Killer. Again, not too happy about that. By the way, seems like Killer's a little desperate to hang on to some positions there. Going into the diving turn now. Looks like a little bit of rubbing between him and the Pizza Man right now. Pizza Man tugging up inside. Killer cutting off his draft. Going into Big Bend now. Pizza Man goes into Killer. I end up getting around Killer, and I end up getting around Pizza Man there a little bit. Bit of a ballsy move on my end. Not really trying to get around them, but I did manage to. But Pizza Man, he does end up going to the back of me, throwing off my line just a little bit. And he does get around in the process, so can't really complain too much. It is racing, but going into the chicane, I do go up into the back of him there. 100% my fault. I did end up getting a penalty for it. So, but he also gets an off-track penalty for something I caused. So that one, honestly, Pizza Man, if you're watching this, I do apologize for that one. Was not intentional whatsoever. But you also got Killer, who's sliding off into the grass. He does end up flipping his car a couple of times, and I think he quits after that one. So we're just going to go ahead and start speeding this up a little bit, because not too much happens. It's literally just me trying to catch up to Pizza Man here. I do end up setting a bit of a new world record, or not world record, but a new personal best on Lime Rock in B class. So Pizza Man losing a little bit of control. I'm not paying attention. I am going into the back of him. Again, I feel kind of bad for that one. Not intentional at all. He ends up going a little off course there. Going into the diving turn right now. I'm trying not to go into the back of him. At this point, I'm more awake. I did record these at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock-ish, while coming off of a small cold, so you can say I'm probably in no condition to really start racing, but either way, going into Big Bend, going into the S's. Now, at this point, I am trying to keep up with him, trying to get some pressure on him. Now, I was not expecting him to break there, and I ended up locking up mine, so whether it was a cheeky move on him or if it was just my mistake, I'll let you guys in the comments section below choose that one, but I do think that was more my fault. And it was going into the final lap. I am pretty much caught up. He is within a penalty range, and at this point, I think I have about 1 to 2 tenths of a second to play with as of right now. Going into the S's, this is where I start to really reeling him in, trying to catch up to him, trying to get that 7th place spot there. Going into the chicane, I start really reeling him in, but I do miss my braking zone a little bit and let off just a little too soon. Cut the corner, and I go from quite a bit of time to play with to almost no time to play with. So right now, going into West Bend. At this point, I'm just trying to catch up as close as I possibly can. Going into the diving turn, going on the San Posey straight. I'm got the pedal to the metal, but it is not enough. He ends up crossing the line, and I don't quite catch up quite enough to get 7th place from him, but it is what it is. I'm still not a fan of these overhyped farm equipment, so with that being said, guys, pretend that's some corny here to get you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. See y'all later.